Hello, hello, hello to my favorite dancing unicorns. It is I, your professor. Welcome back to AG University Podcast. Thanks for coming to class. Buckle up and take notes because I've got a lot of thoughts in my head and I can't wait to see how this all transpires into a podcast episode because I have so much going on inside of my brain. Do you ever feel that way? You just have so much going on inside of your brain, things I want to talk about, things I'm excited about, things I want to tell you guys, life updates. Sheesh lapeesh. If you're catching me on YouTube, I'm on YouTube every Wednesday, guys. You can hang out with me on my little studio screen porch. And it's getting late. It's almost 6 o'clock, so it's dark, but I don't look as the video I posted a few weeks ago where I said it looked like I had been taken hostage because I was just in front of blinds in our guest bedroom. It looks better than that. But anyways, you guys can catch me on YouTube always, but I am kind of sitting in the dark. But it's okay. You know what? Better late than never. I've had a really good, productive day today. And it does feel good slowly because we're still in our slow season, but surely getting back to our morning routine. And Zane starts school at 7:30 here in Florida. We did not do that in Tennessee. We started school like 8 or 8:15. I definitely know it was not 7:30. And we live kind of far out. So we have to leave our house and takes like 30 minutes to get there. So we have to get up at 6:45 every day. Well, Austin, first half of the year, Austin would only take Zane, but then I realized I need to get up with him as well because might as well. And then Austin would go to the gym right after dropping Zane off from school. So it's kind of like nice that Zane started back to school because it kickstarted our back on our morning routine. But man, it was so nice. I really rested. I got a lot of sleep over Christmas break. But anyways, I'm back on my morning routine, back to getting to the gym at 7 and well, actually 7:30 because we got to drop him off at school. But I digress. It's feeling good. I'm having a good day. I hope you guys are having a good day. If you're not having a good day, that's okay. Tomorrow is a new day and a new opportunity for you to enjoy the present moment. So as soon as I opened, when I got on the mic today, I kind of wanted to do a little freestyle study stream of consciousness. So I went ahead and said our opening prayer to connect us with all the love, all the light, all the joy of my angel team and just allow whatever messages they have for you guys. I kind of wanted to just open it up and be like, okay, what does AG University need to hear? And allow me to be that conduit. I always say a prayer over any content that I put out, allow me to help somebody who needs to hear this or connect me with someone who needs to hear this message. So that's what I did today on top of just having lots of things to talk about and tell you guys. But I feel like it just all kind of somehow ties up in this nice little bow. Every time I record a podcast at the end, I'm like, did that even make sense? I don't even know what I just said. I blacked out. And then I watch it back in editing and I'm like, oh, that was great. So somehow it just always magically comes together. And the first message that I got as soon as I opened the records right before I got on the mic was a little jingle, a little riddle. I always say the Akashic Records is where all of the poetry and the lyrics and the beautiful songs that I know are out there in the world that have gone viral. I truly believe they come from the Akashic Records because ultimately the Akashic Records is just another extension of God, source, love. But it's just a database. And if you're new here and you're like, what the heck are the Akashic Records? Always check out episode number 1, how I got started. And then there's another episode that just breaks down the Akashic Records. So anyways, all that being said, I love when they're little jingles. And the first thing that came through to me was divine wisdom lives inside of me and inside of you. All you must do is connect to your light and allow it to shine through. And I loved that little jingle so much because it really is so imperative that you guys recognize how much energy and wisdom is stored in our body that we just naturally have, and it's just waiting to be activated. It's always a huge thing I tell people is that your intuition is there. Your life's purpose, your plan, God's plan, your mission, all of that information has been perfectly planted inside of you. It is there. It's living, breathing energy, just as you are. It is coded in your soul's essence. And if you are alive and breathing, then you have a soul's essence. And that soul essence has information that's just waiting for you to activate the information. So you may say, well, how, Anna Grace, do I activate the information? Well, one is learning, getting to know yourself, sitting with yourself. But the learning piece is really learning how you feel your soul speaks to you. And I've talked about this on lots of episodes, and I want to bring that up again because there is so much information that our body is always trying to communicate. Our mind, body, spirit, they're all working together. Our soul is using our body as this vessel to communicate with us. We don't want to get in the habit of only paying attention to our body when something is wrong. And it's very common to do because if we have a symptom, we're like, oh, shoot, my head's hurting. And instead of just popping a bunch of ibuprofen, ignore, we're really like, okay, why? Let's check in with ourselves. Let's ask some questions, right? But we don't want to get in that habit of only checking in with the body when something is wrong. This is a habit that you guys can do, or a practice, or whatever it is that you feel called to do on a daily basis. You can check in with your soul and you can connect with your soul. Your soul has information that's just waiting. It's just dying for you to ask. It's like, please ask me something. I'm living inside of you, and I'm here, and I have this information. I have this whole plan, this whole soul contract that I agreed to when I came into this body. And your soul's just waiting for you to, one, find some way for you to activate the information. And a lot of times that can be through a particular location that you feel called to. It can be a craft where you lose track of time. It can be a meditation practice. It can be a cycling class where you just get away from your phone and you allow your brain to get clear, and you allow your all of your senses to not be so overstimulated, and you allow this a little bit of time just for your body and your soul to connect. That's where it is. It's like you want all the wires to connect. And another way that I feel a lot of people may have not felt some of this activation energy inside of them, we all have it. We all have this wisdom that lives inside of us. And I feel that if I could give advice to my younger self, or a version of me, or a version of you, whoever needs to hear this, it is sitting with our nervous system and allowing our nervous system the space to process whatever it needs to process, and allowing our nervous system peace, granting our nervous system peace, taking her out of fight or flight, paying attention to her, checking in with the nervous system. Because if we can get ourselves to a place of safety, always remember that, you guys, it's the core foundation of Maslow's hierarchy of needs for a reason. We need safety in our body to experience, deep meditation and all of these other things, enjoying working out, enjoying being in the gym. We don't want to be doing all those things in a super activated fight or flight, dysregulated state. So that's another just a little bee I want to put in your bonnet. My mom really has been saying that all week, and I love it. I'm taking that one from her. A bee in your bonnet. The bee in your bonnet is that if you can, one, just sit time and say, I would love to connect with my soul. I would love to connect with my soul essence and journal with her. You can connect with anything. Everything is energy. You have the ability to connect. You are so connected. And your soul and your mind and your body, they're always dying to connect with you. They're like, please, oh, thank you. She's paying attention to me. She's listening. She's not just numb on social media. I'm like, well, this is a fun practice. I'm going to have a conversation with my higher self. I did this practice with myself when I found out I was diagnosed, with some of these autoimmune illnesses, situations that I am going to reverse, if not eradicate. Okay. Just saying. I'm in the thick of it. But the first thing that I did was I pulled out my journal and I closed my eyes and I imagined a version of me that's just like radiating health and happiness. And I connected with a future version of me who has already healed this, who has already cleared this, who is healthy and autoimmune free. And I asked her, hey, what can I do to process some of this energy? And I do a long journal. What I do is I just start writing out really kind of neutral things in the beginning, like, hey, future bestie, AG, you are healthy. I I need some advice. Writing, just start writing things. Don't just like be like, what is the answer? And like expect one word and that's like going to solve all your problems. Just like really just kind of get lost in telling the story, having a conversation with her, letting her know what's going on, if she has any advice, what is this connected to? Because ultimately, I truly believe that all dis-ease or, a lot of ailments in our body really start connected back to the mind. They really start in the mind. And so I was curious. I'm like, what's going on here? What's happening? And I just started writing about, how I'd been feeling recently, what was going on with me, and just allowed this higher self version of me, this healthy version that's already healed from autoimmune to communicate with me. And one of the biggest things that she showed me that I haven't been doing is to step more into breath work, that my body was ready to release something. And I haven't done tons of breath work. That's kind of an area that I'm really getting into somatic healing and I'm curious about it and I want to learn more. But the idea of a strictly like a crowded breathwork class never really turned me on, because if I'm doing energy where I'm getting into a heightened state, I don't know, I don't really like to be super close to a lot of people. Sometimes I would like to do that in the privacy of my own home, but I also want someone to facilitate it with me. You see what I mean? So it's a new area. But I just wanted to share that practice with you guys because it goes back to this theme of there is so much divine wisdom inside of you, waiting for you to ask her, whoever, him, the energy, God, love questions. And I think this is such a fun way to just have a conversation and say, okay, I'm going to connect with my soul today. I'm just going to journal with my soul in the morning. What do you have to say? What are you feeling? So when I journaled with my higher self, she told me that I was going to be totally fine. I was going to heal this. I was going to clear this, but I needed to slow down. I was going to do things on my own timeline, and that breath work was going to be a huge area of release because my body is really ready to release and shed in order for me to grow and expand into newer, bigger, brighter, bolder spaces. And so sometimes we have to go through these periods that feel a little darker or a little constricted, tougher. It's just what they say. It's like the pressure of the coal is how you build the diamond, or you come out sparkling as a star, shiny as a star. We are going to be shiny stars, okay? I am going to be a shiny star. Repeat after me. Yes, you are. Shine bright like a diamond. Rihanna. I love that song. Anytime I'm on a walk or I'm needing like a little mid-afternoon pick-me-up, that is a great one. So I channeled my future self, my healthy, healed self. She told me breath work. She gave me a couple other tidbits. I need to honestly pull up the journal document. I have so many journals. It's actually too many. I have one downstairs in my office so I can journal about work. And then I have one upstairs next to my bed so I can journal just kind of recapping the day. I just like to kind of wind down and write out a few thoughts. That way I just like dump them on paper and leave them on paper, and I'm not going to bed with a lot on my mind. That's another good hack for just winding down. You can just kind of do a recap. What went well today? What am I grateful for? What enlightened me? How do I feel? I mean, I just kind of write anything. I'm telling you, if you can just write out something, anything, it will really take a lot of pressure off of your brain and and what you're doing, but also this is going to make space for us to allow this wisdom to come through, right? We want to make space, let go of some of those thoughts that are just spinning around in our head. We're going to put them down on pen and paper. And they say that, I don't know if you've ever heard the saying that, quote, shame dies when stories are told in safe places. That's the quote. I just looked it up. But I was kind of going to say same with like any type of energetic tie or trauma or story or thought loop that's going on in our head. And you guys know I'm a huge advocate for talk therapy, but sometimes the safest place for me is my own journal, a place where I can just be completely non-judgmental of my own thoughts and experiences and allow them to pour out on the paper. And then I don't have to take all that stuff with me to bed. I mentioned in a previous episode, another one talking about somatic healing, how I have, I have a shower prayer that you guys, it's always linked in the show notes for releasing energy from the day. And then I have a little energetic cleansing and clearing practice that I do. And then I always have a nighttime prayer that I say over myself and Austin and Zane, just kind of in my head, just throughout. I just send white light all through our house. And it's a nighttime clearing practice. It's always linked in the show notes too. All of my resources are always always linked in the show notes. But just having these little rituals to wind down is so helpful at night. But also, we want to continue to clear and release so that we can make space for the new ideas. We can also allow our body to feel really safe because our body knows that we are putting these rituals into place and taking care of ourselves and prioritizing ourselves. And that safety allows us to unlock another level of soul communication. Ooh, my little crown chakra is tingling. If you guys ever watch me on YouTube, I looks like I'm itching my head, but my whole scalp starts tingling whenever I'm talking. And I feel like I don't know if it's just like me receiving energy that you guys need to hear, like in through my crown chakra, but it just starts tingling. And I'm curious if any of you guys have ever experienced that, or it almost kind of feels like a tickle on the top of your head, like you want to scratch the top of your head. I feel like you're getting just a little energetic download into your brain or like a little idea. But I was like, woo, I was having a little buzzing, a little tingling on my head. So, all that being said, I wanted to talk to you guys a couple things. So, we're talking about just kind of letting go, making space, knowing how much divine wisdom is inside of us always, and we always have access to it. And that's really how I feel. Some people may want to learn about the Akashic Records. I do have a course. You guys can take it in the show notes if you feel the call. But if not, you don't have to learn to read the Akashic Records to connect with your soul. We all have a soul that is carrying this little soul blueprint map with our purpose and just dying for us to connect in, to drop in. And part of your mission is figuring out, when do I feel connected to my soul? And most of the time when we feel connected to our soul, we feel connected to our inner child version of self who is just playful and wild and free. So that was one message that I wanted to share with you guys today. And also, so I'm recording, I know this is a week out, but I wanted to touch on a few other practices that you guys can implement. And tomorrow is January 11th. I know this will come out on the 17th, but I'm recording. I'm actually on time today to be recording ahead of schedule. Woohoo, look at me go. 111 is a portal day, and it's okay if you guys, I know this is coming out after, but I wanted to just touch on portal days. Goes back to our angel numbers episode, a previous episode that I posted, but portal days are, to me, they carry such make-a-wish energy, and I really feel like you can make a wish and embody this energy anytime, any day. Yes, I think the portal days they're like when you're driving in the car and you look at the clock and it's 11:11, you're like, "Ooh, yay, make a wish." And you like think and you like close your eyes and you're like, "Yay." I feel like a portal day is like that except the whole day. And we just get to play in our imagination and make wishes and remember how magical the universe is, because God, the universe, source, love is always listening. And those days when we really tune in and we set an intention to connect, I'm telling you guys this now because we have another one coming up, which would be February 22nd, 222. It's an opportunity for us to just get lost in the magic of the day and making wishes. What do we wish for? What do we even want? And then speaking them out loud, writing them down. I also came up with a really fun quantum manifestation exercise that I channeled from the Akashic Records that I wanted to share with you guys. And this is another one that you can do at any time. But I think the portal days are important because I do think the energy is juicy in the sense of everyone is collectively manifesting something on those days, and it kind of makes it a little more powerful. But as you know, we're powerful creators and we can manifest any day. I share portal information in real time on the AG University podcast Instagram. So if you guys are interested, you can check it out there. But anyway, so I was seeing this visualization come through and it was just so fun. And I wanted to share it with you guys because I've said this once and I'll say it again. Manifestation loves movement. When we move our body, and this can be going on a walk, manifestation walk, where we visualize. For me, it's always been dancing. I can listen to music and start dancing and just completely get in, just so wrapped up in a visualization that I get chills. I'll cry because I feel so much gratitude and so much joy for this experience that has not yet happened to me, but I'm experiencing it somewhere in the quantum field. And I experience that more so with moving versus a seated meditation. So just something for you guys to know. You can try a lot of different types of ways to visualize. So this visualization, quantum leaping, right? Quantum leaping means that we are just jumping into a new timeline where we are waking up every single day, living our highest best life, our highest self identity. It's kind of like in video games where they jump on this little power up and it's like, brrrr, and you get like an extra 10,000 points. That's how I feel like quantum jumping is. It's like you just kind of speed up very quickly. Okay, so it's a fun quantum manifestation technique for you guys to try is to put on some really loud, fun, happy music, whatever empowers you. I threw out Shine Bright Like a Diamond. I always love I need to share my playlist sometime. I love something that's a little bit faster, but if you guys want to do like some type of like a Hertz, or I always love Beautiful Chorus. That's a really great like kind of affirmation-y sing song. But for this, I just say like put on some fun, happy music. Sometimes for me it's rap music. I try to just not do like the most like ratchet degrading songs, just keep the vibration a little high, but doesn't matter. Whatever makes you feel good is the intention behind the song. So whatever makes you feel good, put it on. And I want you to start jumping up and down, like just jump, 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 like kind of like not even a jumping jack, just jumping up and down. And as I'm jumping, I imagine that I am releasing old stagnant energy from my body, allowing it to flow out of my feet, going into the ground, being transmuted and taken to the light. And I'm just like jump, 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 jumping around. And once I get to a place where I'm starting to really feel lighter, or I know energy is being released, maybe I'm sweating, I just start to play in the visualization land of like, I'm ready to release this. Who do I want to step into? Who do I want to body? We talked last week, choosing your fighter, same concept, just all different ways to access. And then I draw like a little like circle on the floor and I pretend this is my portal. This is for portal days, but like I said, you can do it anytime. I draw my little portal on the floor with my foot, just an imaginary circle. And when I jump into that circle, I am jumping into this version of me who is happiest, healthiest, wealthiest, most fabulous version of me. And then once I leave that portal, I take that energy with me for the rest of the day. And you can do this multiple times a day. You can be like, oh, I'm kind of having a lull, put on my song, draw my little circle on the floor, and then jump into it, embody and become this person. I feel that the best manifestation techniques for me personally always involve movement. And I feel for everybody. I mean, I don't know about you guys, maybe y'all are master meditators, but I think everybody struggles sitting. I think there's a lot of beauty and importance and need for stillness. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes I really like to get into this heightened, elevated state because when I feel this like rush of energy, I can really harness it to feel and embody this new version of me and kind of jumping into our little circle that we draw on the floor. So I thought that was a really fun activation practice that we can all do every single day on a portal day. We've got another one coming up, 222. I will remind you guys as it gets closer, but I wanted to explain because I've never really touched on those on the podcast. And there is a lot of power because we are collectively, people are working together, working with God, universe, source, love, whatever word you use to connect with their highest timeline. And there is, strength in numbers. When that energy is out in the world, it's magical, it's electric, it's powerful. So we might as well tap into it and tune into it in the most loving way. And I wanted to share that little jump technique of jumping into our magical circle because it's very kind of tangible and physical, and we can physically do it, physically feel the shift in our body and go forth living in our highest timeline. So I'm going to be doing that all day tomorrow for the 111 portal. So I wanted to tell you guys kind of my practice that I'll do for a lot of portal days or just days in general. Now, dates that are extra helpful for you guys is this is going to be coming out on the 17th. The 25th of January is going to be a full moon in Leo, which Leo is all about being seen. So I wanted to talk about the Leo energy being seen. The full moon is an amazing time for us to let go of things that no longer serve us. It's another time, just like a portal day, working with the moon, all of these things. They're like a gentle reminder that the universe presents to us to be like, hey, let's just tap in, tune in. What do we want to release? What do we want to wish for? Keeping that constant communication. Like anything, it's like being in a relationship. Being in a relationship with God, with universe, with source is just like being in a relationship with yourself or with your partner. You got to keep the communication flowing. You don't want to just write down one thing and then just let it fly for the rest of the year. just keep it flowing. So as the moon changes, I think there's so much power in the moon. The moon affects the tides, all the water on the planet. And guess what, you guys? We're made of 70% water. Okay. So it affects all of us. So it's really cool to pay attention and have a little awareness and to tune in with ourselves and say, ooh, how am I feeling? And I went ahead and kind of looked this up too about the moon. It's like we're making space for the new by letting go of the old. And a full moon it reflects the light of the sun. So the full moon illuminates our inner worlds and reveals to us what we're hanging on to. So this is the perfect time to pay attention to what we're holding on to and let it go. So I thought that was a fun just thing to bring up, is like how much there's like such duality with the light from the sun reflecting into the moon. And it's like, okay, that's illuminating our inner self. How can we, look? And for the full moon in Leo, which is coming up January 25th. By the way, guys, I downloaded a new app. It's called Chani, not an ad, not affiliated. I should be, but I'm not. CHAINI. Sometimes I have a hard time spelling things outside of my brain. Okay, yes. And I've told you guys in the past, I'm not a huge astrology girly. Like I just don't stay like tuned into like the day by day or like who am I compatible with via astrology. I just kind of like to work with the moon and the stars, and then I tap into the Akashic Records as my main source. But I'm learning more because I know you guys like astrology too. And that app has been very helpful. I've learned a lot. The Chani, I don't know how to say it, Chani app. It's been good. I pay for it. I think there's like a free one you can use for like a week or so and just see if you like it. Like I said, not an ad, just letting you know that's how I kind of know where the moon's at. I've been looking for a good app recently. Shout out to my girl Nicole Marilline. She gave me that recommendation. It was been really helpful. But anyways, all that being said, the energy of the full moon in Leo is all about being seen. So this could be an amazing practice for you coming up. Coming out with the full moon is in what ways? I want you guys to ask yourself this out loud in your head in a journal prompt later. In what ways am I still afraid of being seen? Is it speaking my truth in the office, in my relationship, to my partner? What is it that I would be so embarrassed if someone thought of me, right? Because those feelings of embarrassment, that's where our shadow lies. So I want to just put that bee in your bonnet. What would I be afraid if someone found out about me? Those all tie into different areas of how we are afraid of being fully seen. And being fully seen does not always mean on social media. This means just being seen for the true, authentic, loving person that you are. So, those are a couple questions to ask yourself as we head into this full moon, January 28th in Leo, a release. And I did a fire ceremony post on my main page at Anna Grace Newell on Instagram. It's really all about, I love to do a physical, tangible release. And so I'll write out everything that I'm ready to let go of. And I'll write a little letter to myself, to an old version of me who was carrying those things and saying, it's time to put them down, write them all down, whatever it is that I am releasing, and then light it on fire. And that is our, symbolizing, burning, releasing, letting go, sending it into the light and out of my timeline. I always say, I'll pull up a cleanse and clear prayer that I wrote for the end of the new year because I wanted to release the previous year. But we can do this and release at any time, release with a full moon, release when we feel called to release. But this was a little spell, prayer, affirmation, whatever word resonates with you. After I write down I am ready to release, or I allow blank out of my reality, I would say this prayer kind of over the sheet, and it's, I command you out of my timeline. I cleanse and clear the rest of this energy, and I allow divinity and serenity to set me free for the good of all and highest love. So that's just a little prayer that you can say and then light your piece of paper on fire and allow it to go away. If you have a fire pit or you just burn it over a candle, you can do it in your sink, do it outside, wherever, somewhere safe, be safe. But that's a really good release practice. I know a lot of you guys have been asking for more just kind of rituals and ways that we can clear out our auric field, because ultimately we want to feel light. The lighter we are, the more that we can connect with our divine wisdom, and the happier, the more joy that we feel. So, all that being said, I am on day, let's see, 3. I'm like, is it 4? No. Day 4 of my liver detox journey. And one thing I've learned about the liver is that I did not know diddly squat about the liver until recently. And one thing that I have really gathered is that we all need to know things about our liver. Liver is very important. It's like having an air conditioning system in our house and we never change the filter. There's a lot of filtration that's happening, and it was time for me to detox my liver. The first doctor that recently diagnosed me with some autoimmune disorders or disease, whatever, she was like, this is what I think it is, and it's this only and nothing else. And I went into the Akashic Records and said, yo, what's up? And they kept going back to your liver, your liver, your liver. My angels kept being like, your liver, your liver, your liver. And I was like, my liver? And what I know from Chinese medicine is that the liver is associated with stress or can be connected to anger, so like old emotions. But also, our liver is so important. It needs to be detoxed. It's like our filtration. We need to clear it out, because if not, there can be a lot of things stuck in the body. And I know one way that it comes up is, if we have acne or random breakouts. For me, I started getting a rash on my chest, like weird things were happening because things are inside of the skin, inside of the body, that are trying to come out of the body. They're trying to release. So I thought that was very interesting, going down this kind of rabbit hole of learning about the liver. I'm going to tell you guys about it because it's just what I'm going through. And I feel that I'm going through this for a reason. And also, so many of you guys have written me stories saying, I'm on a similar autoimmune journey. I'm so excited to hear what you're doing. And if you're not on an autoimmune journey, I don't wish that for you, but maybe these are things that you can take into your wheelhouse, learn about, and can prevent a future situation, or maybe a family member you can share with a friend, whatever. I think this is just good information for anyone to hear. So the liver is important. We got to detox her. We got to take care of her. We got to pay attention. And things I've been doing, one, of course, castor oil liver packs are life-changing. Castor oil on anything will heal anything and everything it touches. It is fairy dust. It is magic. It is gold. If you do not know about castor oil, holy moly, I'm so glad you're here, because you need to know about it. I put it on my face to get rid of fine lines and wrinkles, got me off Botox. That was huge. It has transformed my face. People DM me every day being like, you changed my life, telling me about castor oil. And I'm like, I really can't believe that is the impact that I've left on people is castor oil, but you know what? I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm like, I'd love for you to learn about the Akashic Records, anything. Okay, castor oil. Yeah, that works. So castor oil is changing everybody's lives. You guys got to get on it. We do it in our skincare. I have tons of reels saved to my main page if you're curious about it. I have a whole castor oil highlight. But castor oil liver packs is something I've been doing every single morning. I don't actually recommend you guys maybe do them every single day. I am in kind of a state of, I urgently need to get my blood work looking better and things turned over and filtered and processed. So I'm doing them every day. You could probably do it like once a week if you're feeling good. But if you ever feel like, oh, I feel like things in my body are just backed up, things are stored in my body, it will, and here's the thing, it will clear you out. Okay. So I do it like in a time where I'm at the house, I know I'm going to be around. You don't want to like castor oil pack and then like blast off to an event, because things are, not to be gross, but like you might poop your pants. So just know that. Do it at a time where you're just like, oh, a nice Sunday reset, cooking dinner, hanging around the house, whatever. It's not going to immediately. You might just wake up the next day and feel like very regular, which is good. But some people say just, be wary the first time you do it. Your body starts to adjust and get used to it. And the more things that detox, then some people have written me too, being like, I did castor oil in my belly button. That's another place. I put it in the belly button. It's helped me so much with menstrual cramps, with getting my cycle back and regular. I mean, I could just go on and on. I could write a whole book about how much I love castor oil. And some people were like, "Oh, I had a really bad headache," or "I felt really nauseous," or a lot of times that's toxic stuff coming out of your body or needing to be released. So, maybe try it again. If it happens every single time, then okay, maybe you're allergic. That seems kind of crazy. I mean, that doesn't seem crazy, but that's rare. I think I've never had any type of a side effect ever. Actually, the other day I put on a castor oil pack, and by the end, after I had it on for like an hour, and you can start off just doing a castor oil pack for like 15 minutes. I do a tutorial on my main page as well. But after I had it on for 45 minutes, I felt the most immense shift in my mood ever. Like I felt so happy, so giddy. So I was kind of just in a meh, like kind of like a foggy stage. And it just cleared my brain fog out immediately. It is just a miracle worker. Can't say enough good things about it. Just love, 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 love. The liver detox that I am on. So I'm seeing 2 functional medicine doctors, and I'm also working with a holistic healer who I'm going to bring on the podcast. And she's working with me on the energetic sides, because every single time you do a detox, remember, if I mean, I believe that a lot of disease starts with the mind, and then manifests into our physical body. It starts in our energy body and manifests into our physical body. That's just really how energy works, right? So I'm working with a practitioner on the energetic side and also on the like literal physical body side, doing testing and blood tests and supplements and diet. And I believe we can change so much too on our diet. So just as I, like I always do, I'm taking this thing head on and I'm not wasting any time. I started a 30-day liver detox protocol. Going forward, I will always be actively detoxing my liver. Never knew. My poor liver, she's probably backed the hell up. Apparently, after you get off birth control, which I got my IUD out, it's been a little over a year now, but getting off birth control, that's heavy on the liver. So it's probably really needed a detox after that just to get everything out, cleanse and clear. Another one is great is sauna. That's another, we know energy is being released when we sweat. So I'm going to start doing more sauna. I just got to find a good sauna. It is a little pricier. I wish I had one in my house, but one day I'm manifesting that for my future home. So the liver detox that I'm doing is eating essentially like a paleo lifestyle, except on paleo, you can have fruit and sugar and, kind of natural things. This is 0 sugar. And this is the first time in my life since, back when I used to do crazy freaking diet fad, dumb stuff, diet culture, I haven't had any type of strict, guidelines with myself, which has been interesting because I got really away from all of that because I was healing from disordered eating. And I share a lot about that on previous episodes. You can check out how I healed my relationship with food episode. And I just got really intuitive with my body and just eating what I felt called to eat. And that's where I needed to be. And now I'm in a season of, okay, now I'm in a season of healing. And so it's kind of approaching a quote unquote dietary changes through the lens of healing, which is a completely different way of dieting for weight loss, right? So that felt good for me. And I've been super open with, I've always been 80-20 plant-based. I eat mostly plant-based, but I will always have dairy. Sometimes if I feel called to meat, like every once in a while, like a good burger will sound good, I'll have it. I've just never been a huge meat girly. But, now that I'm in this kind of autoimmune phase, that eating protein and not a lot of sugar. We don't want to be bombarding the body with glucose is what we're trying to do to release inflammation. And sugar is a huge source. So removing fruits this is a very temporary cleanse detox that I'm doing. And it's a medical detox. I'm not telling you guys you need to do this. I'm just kind of letting you know what it looks like. So for 30 days going completely sugar free, and I'm just cooking like vegetables and proteins, and I'm having a protein shake with like some avocado, and I can have sweet potatoes. So I put like some sweet potato in it. And then towards the end, you can have some fruits and some other things because I love my smoothies so much. So it's been very interesting because this is the first time in my life I've ever challenged myself to like really cut out sugar. And it's like anything, sugar, I'm pretty sure I told Austin, I'm like, I'm scared in 6 days. I'm not going to be like just like a crackhead, just Jones, like trying to eat a sugar cube out of a freaking tray at a restaurant. Like, I don't know. But like I said, seeing this through the lens of healing, it has been easy. I don't want to speak too soon. I don't know. We'll see how I'm feeling at day 20. I might be like fuck? I think by day 20, I'll probably have broke the programming or the habit, right? The habit that we think we need these foods and sugar and all this stuff in our body when we really don't. But all that being said, it's interesting to do a detox or a cleanse of sorts because just as we are detoxing physically, our energy body is connected, right? We've got our physical body and our energy body. And I've been making more time for meditation to tune in with my body. So if you have a place that, whether it's your immune system, your thyroid, your glands, your gut, your liver, your kidneys, whatever area that's kind of resonating with you that you're feeling is needing some healing or attention. I feel a lot of those places are very common for all of us. I, have been doing these meditations, or even when I put on my liver castor oil pack, I imagine, okay, what if I know that the liver is connected in Chinese medicine? You guys can Google this too. Like, what areas of the body are connected in Chinese medicine? So for me, I put on the castor oil pack and I'm like, okay, in what areas of my body, if the liver is associated with stress, I will just sit, close my eyes, tune in for a second and say, as my body physically detox, I'm ready to energetically detox as well. So if there is some memory or energy or something in my life that I need to release, like I just like allow my body to show it to me now. And I kind of just like imagine, okay, what feels really stressful to me? Ask yourself, what feels stressful to me? And as I, put this castor oil on, I'm going to energetically, clear that out too. And I just imagine it in my brain and I just imagine blessing it. That was a really stressful, work call. And I just literally will like physically imagine kind of pulling it out of my head, pulling it out of my space, pulling it and sending it into the light. And so that's another practice that I just want to tell you guys about is like how much power that you have in detoxing and cleaning out your body and bringing these memories up, loving them, accepting them for what they are, pulling them out and sending them into the light. Because as we're going into the new year, maybe you're like, ooh, I would like to have a little bit less alcohol or sugar or caffeine or something because I want to feel good and I want to be healthy and happy. Or maybe you're on a healing journey too. And I just want to put this in front of you to look at the energetics as well. What part of the body is needing some love? What part of the body is that emotion commonly associated with? My friend Kiki, who came on the podcast, you guys might know her, Fit by Kiki. She told me the other day she was having some severe bloating and she's like, I looked up Chinese acupuncture points for digestion. She's like, it's actually your kneecaps. So I had Jeff, my husband, massage my kneecaps and it made me feel so much better. And she's like, that is just so crazy. Like, why do we not know this stuff? I was like, I know, it's very interesting when you start to learn a little bit about the energy portals of each organ of our body. Our face, facial reflexology, there is a point on our face that represents every single point inside of our body. Our face is a map of our body. So there's a lot of inflammation in our face. There's inflammation somewhere else inside of the body. And you can pull up these facial reflexology charts and see like, okay, the forehead, that's connected with the kidneys. I don't know. I actually don't know if that's true, but I'm just giving you an example. Same with the feet. Our feet, that's has a true, I think that's the original reflexology points. Our feet are a map of our entire body, and our entire body has a point that connects to our feet. Everything is so connected. It is crazy. That's why, they say if you're pregnant, they can massage a certain part of your foot and it'll help you go into labor sooner. There's all kinds of things. So I just wanted to let you guys know that as much as I'm on this physical detox journey and removing toxins from my house, I'm doing clean beauty swaps every single day on Instagram. You guys can check it out there. But there is an energetic piece because for me, when I went in and the Akashic Records, like your liver, your liver, your liver, I'm like, okay, well, I'm curious, why, when did I get so backed up? Right. Am I meditating is a time for us to go in and clean out our mind. We've got to physically clean out our body. And at some point, I guess I started slacking on doing the cleaning out, right? And just letting go. And that's a huge theme for this podcast. At the full moon, clear it out, release it. The more that we can cleanse, clear, release, keep going and make it an easy process. It's easy, you guys. It's easy to cleanse, to clear, to journal, to write a letter, to burn it, to do whatever, rip it up, throw it away. I don't care. Cleanse, clear, rinse, repeat. It's so tied energetically to our organs, to our body, to autoimmune. I believe all of these things are so connected. As much as like I said, I believe in the power of medicine and supplements and food being our healer and our teacher and all of that, but it does start in our mind as well. And so for me, I've learned so much for this recent diagnosis already. And I'm going to share with you guys like more once it's a little bit further out. I feel it's a tad too early to share because I would love to have some blood work and some data that's side by side showing you guys the progress and, kind of what I've done. But I am in the thick of it. Please pray for me on my no sugar journey because I like sometimes I'm just like, oh, I would just love a dried mango right now. I love a little smoothie right now, but I can do this. And I keep telling myself, this was my mantra that I have been saying every single day when I start to have a moment where I'm like, oh, but I don't like to be on diets. Boo, wee me. And I'm like, no, this isn't a diet. You are healing. This is important. I am so lucky that I'm alive and I have a body that I can nourish back to 100% health. Okay. So that's what I'm telling myself. But every time I'm drinking something or I'm having my protein shake and I'm kind of just like, oh, this is a little boring. And, I feel like the beginning is a little trickier because it was a little bit of a jump scare going from holidays to like no sugar, but it's what my body needs. And I'm honoring that. And I'm open to, trying out some more protein right now to get my body back to a healthier state. I'm just being very open and very gentle and very loving. But my guides showed me, they're like, listen, Anna Grace, you've got to do this 30-day detox. Cause I checked in with myself. I muscle tested my body, which I have muscle testing on my page as well, the body pendulum saved to my reels. And I checked in with myself and was like, how do I feel about this detox? First things first, any advice any medical professional gives you, check in with yourself because you can always get a second opinion. So I checked in with myself. I said, okay. And I went into the Akashic Records and they're like, you got to do this. You got to commit. Don't feel restricted. It's okay. You're going to be fine. You're going to feel so good. And that's what we want to show you. We want you to feel so good so that this is how good I can feel. You didn't even know that you could feel this good. So just keep going because you're going to feel amazing. And so anytime that I've been, like, okay, Anna Grace, you got to go on your walk. You got to do your meditation. You got to do these things. And I really don't even like to say I gotta, we get to, right? But I've been saying, show me how good I can feel. Just saying it out loud to myself, to my future self, to my higher self, to the universe, to my angels, to God, to anyone that's listening. Like, show me how good I can feel. And it just completely flips the script in my head of like, okay, this might necessarily or originally have been a hard thing, but I can do hard things because I'm going to feel amazing at the end of this. So show me how good I can feel. Show me how good I can feel in this moment, how present I can feel. Allow whatever needs to come up so that I can release it, so that I can feel even better and bolder and brighter and more confident, right? So just like, show me how good I can feel. So I'm looking down at my planner right now and I've wrote at the top, I'm like, okay, no sugar, liver, detox, cleanse. Show me how good I can feel because I know that this is instrumental into my healing and health journey. And I know that this whole situation is going to allow me to help other people heal and getting into somatic practices and breath work and all these things that I'm diving into and learning about. I'm sure I'm going to just completely fall into that rabbit hole and you guys are just going to be taken there as well. But I want you to know all of the ways that I have been supporting myself and showing up for myself and ways that you can support yourself too, even if you aren't struggling with your health. First of all, take a moment and be so grateful that you are healthy and that we are all here and we're listening and we're connected. And yeah, I just love to give you guys every single thought that I am having in moment to moment, week by week, because that I feel is what's meant for the podcast. And it's what you guys are supposed to hear. So I'm rooting for you. I believe in you. I love you guys. And as always, thank you for coming to class. Share this with a friend, tag me on social media. I always try to respond to all the tagged messages. If I've ever missed it, I'm so sorry, but I do feel I'm pretty good at catching tagged story mentions. So I always really appreciate them. I see you guys. I hear you guys. I love you. I love you. I love you. Have a beautiful day. Mwah. As always, I just wanted to say thank you so much for tuning in. If you feel so called or if it feels aligned, I would love for you to leave me a review here I always love reading your beautiful thoughts and messages. And also you can find me at Anna Grace Newell on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And I will link all of my courses, AG University course curriculum in the show notes, along with if you're interested in booking an Akashic Records reading with me. My scheduling link goes out in my newsletter. It goes out once a month and it's completely free. I would love to have you there. As always, I'm a proud professor and you get an A+ for making it all the way through the end. Love you.